Riddle me this, riddle me that. Are we in a matrix? Is the world rigged? Social media rules the whole world, baby, you dig? The Alpough Show is in the know. The human spirit experiment will help you grow. The show starts now.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, in Twitter land, Rumble land, Facebook land. Where are we? We're all over the place here. We're even going to be on TikTok land here pretty soon. Today's Wednesday the 27th. April is almost over, and again, we couldn't have Wednesday without Het-Heru coming up here, and there's a lot's happened here. So today we're going to be talking about some of the world things going on, but we're also going to be talking about the 7 principles of Mayat through the eyes of Het-Heru and the sacred chamber that's going on. And haven't been on in a while. This is we had some sickness in the house. And so there's been some recovery going on here. It's so funny, 2.5 years and something walks right in the door. I can't really comment on it because I will be shadow banned, or, I can't even bring it up. But now one thing I'm going to bring up is please subscribe to my channel. I am being shadow banned, you guys. This is a spiritual channel. This is not a place where we don't talk about politics. We talk about how to be better, as a better person, a better spiritual being. And so with that said, let's go ahead and bring in Het-Heru. Hi, Het-Heru. How are you?
Hi, Michael. Hi, everybody. I have a question for you. What is shadow band? What is that?
Shadow ban is something that YouTube's doing. We're going to talk a little bit about that, today. A lot has to do with just the thing is, with Elon Musk, who purchased Twitter. This is all part of this. And so what happens is they pick certain subjects. Okay. And if you're on YouTube, the ones that are getting the plays are the ones that are political, okay, that are fighting, one side or the other, the woke, the awake, okay. As you know, as we already know, this is the channel of Sophia. We're talking about Mayat. This is just, it's not, it's just, you're either labeled or you're not.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so there's a lot of channels that have been shadow banned. Okay. And so shadow ban means they put you in the shadows so nobody can find you. You see, there's different algorithms. There's people understand algorithms are what runs YouTube, Twitter, and then these algorithms, they put certain subjects that they won't allow. Okay. So this is why one of the most crucial things that ever happened was 2 years ago when they deplatformed the president of the United States. Now, whether or not I'm not here being political, I'm not, saying I'm a Donald Trump guy, but you do not shadow ban the president of the United States. I mean, this is just not the American way. Okay. And so it's much more harder to get viewers. And also when people subscribe to the channel. All right. So people subscribe to the channel. Now, if they do not press this bell, okay, that says all, they still can't find me.
That's right.
Okay. You don't get reminders that I'm coming on.
That's
All right. So you don't have it in the algorithm. I have 4,500 subscribers.
That's great.
And so to get people repeat, they have to be reminded that I'm coming on. Okay. And when they don't, I'm not the only one it's happening to. Okay. But I do know that the subject matter that I'm talking about, of bringing in the female aspect of the spiritual, the when I first discovered the 42 ideals of Maya. Okay, this is a woman. Okay, the birthing. The woman is the birth. Gives birth to life. Also, Sophia, as far as I'm concerned, is the creator. Nobody's giving her any credit. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you before we get into this, because we're going to be talking about the principle of law, correct?
Right.
Okay. So this is the third week. Is our third one? This is number 3, right?
Yes.
We did the
It
truth,
is.
and then we did justice,
Righteousness, and
righteousness,
today is law.
and today's law. Okay. I'm still a little under the weather in my throat, so forgive me here.
Okay.
So anyway, how's your week going? Where you've been doing your dancing?
Yeah. Things are opening up out here for us dancers, so we're pleased with that. It's the NFL draft. So,
Oh,
did I say it right? Yeah.
yes, you
So
did.
Vegas is going to be very crowded, and so because I'm not really a casino person, I only go to dance, or I
Right.
might go and go to a restaurant or something with friends. So we're being advised to stay as far away from the strip, which I normally do anyhow. However, there is one place that we do go on the weekends to dance. So we're, a little ambivalent about it, but we'll see what happens. But there's so many other places now, so it's a wonderful thing. Weather is warm. It was almost 90, so it must
Woo!
be hotter for you there, no?
Oh, it's already 100.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's already
You would like
100.
to see 90, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that actually would cool things off here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no, it's
agree.
hot. It's I'm sweating. I'm sweating out whatever got in me.
It's a good thing.
You know. So anyway, I wanted to bring up here Elon Musk,
Mhm.
and I have done a number of shows on Elon Musk. Okay, now, are you familiar with him? I don't know if you're
I
familiar
know
with
who
him.
he is.
Okay, so
That's the Tesla guy, right?
that's the Tesla guy. Now he just bought um,
Twitter.
he just bought uh, Twitter.
Right.
Okay, so I want to read this to you. Elon Musk's net worth is currently 255 billion. Now that's probably grown. Okay.
Mhm.
If someone handed you a bag containing $5,000 every day, 365 days a year, you'd be as rich as him in 139,726 years.
Okay.
Some useful context for the billionaire tax arguments. these guys,
Yeah, exactly. Mhm.
these guys are
Exactly.
making.
So he's considered like the richest man, at least in the States, isn't it? Or is it
He's considered the
just
richest man in the world. Now,
in the world? Okay.
yes, but that is not true. Okay,
Okay.
uh, the Rothschilds
Hmm.
are the richest.
Is
Okay.
that so? They still are. Huh?
Oh yes.
Hmm.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Without a, they own half the world.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And now they don't. You don't hear about them. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
That's
You
true.
don't. You don't hear about them.
That's true.
They don't want you to know them.
Right.
Okay.
Smart
They
people.
want you to know,
Mhm.
but people like Elon Musk knows.
Mhm.
And so what happens is someone like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, George Soros, these guys are what's considered lieutenants of
Mhm.
the Rothschilds.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
if Elon Musk is worth $255 billion, I can guarantee you that the Rothschilds are about 5 trillionaires.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So again, everything is being masked. I mean, see what is in front of us, what we see is not necessarily what's actually the true front of what we are.
Right.
Okay. And that's why I think tonight talking about law. And so now I want to bring up here that this is the 42 ideals of Mayat. It's kind of the completion of the 7 principles. Is that kind of how you see it?
Well, okay, so you understand that the 7 principles of Ma'at. Remember, Ma'at is a aspect of creation. The Inter, which we in our time would call God, but they called the Inter, had different aspects, and one aspect for truth is Ma'at. And so there are 7 principles of truth. The 42 laws of Ma'at are similar to the 10 codes of morality. All of them are guidelines for us to live a good life, a conscious life, a life that is, especially the 7 principles. Remember that the Ma'atian society, these were very evolved people, and they lived a very peaceful civilization. And part of the reason they did that was because of these 42 laws of Ma'at that they guided their lives with, along with and then, yes, to break it down even more so, to understand the 7 principles. Now, I went into my yoga training. Truth, righteousness, law, order, balance, harmony, and reciprocity. But when you start studying this stuff, and if you go farther back um, in uh, in history, you realize that they're all saying the same thing. You're taking different times, you're taking different cultures and different languages, but they're basically saying the same thing. It's like you were showing Sophia with the baby, and then we have Mary and the baby, and we even have that. I was trying to remember Horace is the baby in the Kemetic teachings, and I was trying to think of her name, but it'll come to me. And oh, by the way, when I was attempting to pull forth, I said there's that the pronunciation or the writing of Africa wasn't even the original. It's Africa, which means flesh and soul of the hidden sun. That's what Africa means.
I want to play you a clip. Um, Now, I believe, and I want your comment on this. Okay, of the organic being of who we are,
Mhm.
the creation of who we are was made perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
and so now what you have here in 2022,
Mhm.
and I want to bring up here the one of the reason why I'm bringing up Elon Musk because he has literally is going to have a major effect on transhumanism. Okay, so when I heard that Elon actually, bought Twitter,
Mhm.
I'm like, wait a second, this is too weird, Het-Heru, because right now Elon Musk is creating a civilization of robots right now. Okay.
Human
He,
robots or
no, robots,
okay, robots.
robots.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. Cause I'm going to give you, I'm going to add to what you just said. Cause you just hit it again. I'm going to play
Okay.
you a clip.
Alrighty.
Okay. So Elon Musk, the moment I heard,
Mhm.
he did supposedly a good thing. I want you to know this is also what he's doing. And has another company called the Neuralink. So I want you to listen to this clip.
Okay.
For version 1 of the device, it would be it basically implanted in your skull. So, but it would be flush with your skull. So you basically take out a chunk of skull, put the Neuralink device in there. You put the electrode, you'd insert the electrode threads very carefully into the brain, and then you stitch it up, and you wouldn't even know that somebody has it. And so that it can interface basically anywhere in your brain. So it could be something that helps cure, say, eyesight, like give you returns your eyesight, even if you've like lost your optic nerve type of thing.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Hearing, obviously. I mean, pretty much anything that where that it could, in principle, fix almost anything that is wrong with the brain.
Wrong with the what?
Wrong with the brain.
Oh.
So, okay, so now a lot of what happens when they first bring these kind of things out, they're trying to say to you, well, we're going to help you fix the things that are wrong with you.
Right.
Okay. So we're helping the unhealthy.
Mhm.
Okay. So they started off as that. Now,
Right.
I went into a deeper look at this. And the Neuralink, basically, it allows you to be on the internet in
Mhm.
your head. It also allows communication by another source going straight into your mind.
Mhm.
And so this is what's called the beginning of transhumanism,
Mhm.
where you're transferring your humanness, your consciousness into a computer. Okay.
Right.
This is, as far as I'm concerned, the absolutely most dangerous conception of taking away the human spirit. That's why the show is called the Human Spirit Experiment, in the sense that the experiment is to take away our spirit. And how do they do that? By making you forget about it. See, if you don't exercise your spirit, you're gonna it wastes away. You see, your soul. You don't exercise your soul muscle. You forget about it, and now you're stuck in the material
Mhm.
where we're ruled by robots. Okay, so let's take it a step further, in the sense that what he's doing is creating a fleet of driverless trucks, which is going to eliminate the trucking business. Families, okay, who drive semi trucks, they're going to eliminate their jobs. Okay. These robots are like 5'8", 5'9". All right. They weigh about 150 pounds, and they will have the ability to lift 5,000 pounds.
Mhm.
Because, okay, so like you see a robot, looks like a body, human body. All right, so here's your your arm here. So I got a muscle. All right, so I use my muscles to lift up. I can only lift so much, okay, because I'm human. I'm organic. A
Mhm.
robot, they have this new polymer that has the ability to lift 1,000 times its weight. So now,
Mhm.
picture me. I have this new polymer muscle.
Okay.
Okay, not my organic muscle, but the muscle. And so when it's heated up, it's just like when we work out. We heat up, lift our weight. When it's heated up, it can lift up 5,000 pounds, can
Mhm.
jump 30 feet onto a roof.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
These robots are going to be priced starting at $10,000.
Mhm.
Okay, now you can get the upgrades or everything, and so now uh, all the jobs, like the McDonald's and janitor jobs, the jobs that people still need, okay, because they don't have a they don't have a degree, so they got to
Mhm.
work, right? You know what I mean? So these jobs, and so he's come out and said it. Well, you don't have to do these jobs anymore. It's like, well, then how are people going to survive? So the question is, Sarah, in this discussion is, what then does one have a purpose?
Well, first of all, I've heard stories like Elon Musk, a great part of my adult life. And I'm not going to say that these robots aren't in the future, but I do see this is where having a sense of your own spiritual self comes in in handy, because if you look at what goes on in the world all the time and you believe that that's just the way it is because that's what's being shown to you in the world, you get kind of lost and you get very frightened, very frustrated, and all those things. But when you have the ability to see beyond what appears to be, like a balanced sixth chakra, I see beyond what appears to be, then you know that number one, you are the crown of creation, not a robot. You are the crown of creation. You are the infinite made definite. This man, I guess, is brilliant, I guess, in his own
Yes.
special way,
Yes.
but so am I. And
Yeah.
so are you. And so is everyone. I may not want to design a car or a robot, but I have my own way of expressing my brilliance. So we are once when I hear somebody, okay, I always look at these people. I look at them. I'm looking at it from an intuitive point of view, whether they're political figures or religious figures or whomever. And I connect with what's within me that I trust, and I decide whether I'm getting a good feeling about this person or persons, and my inner self tells me what how much okay how much power to give over to this person, because every day I'm making an effort to take back my power because the world is constantly telling me all sorts of things, but the voice within, I think I shared with you when George Washington Carver was asked where in the world he came up with so many ideas for the peanut. His response was, when you love something long enough and hard enough, it whispers its secrets to you. If we can take our time, I mean, it's not to ignore people like Elon Musk or Donald Trump or whomever. It is really important to get a sense of, to connect, to make that union, to unite with that power within. Therefore, you have the ability to see what's real and not real. So that's my feeling about it. I can remember back in the 70s in LA, they were telling us we were going to run out of oxygen because there were too many people coming into LA. And there were people who accepted that. And consequently, they were very fearful. They were having issues with their own breathing. And it never made any sense to me. So every day I have the choice to make. I don't believe that an Elon Musk has more power than the spiritual power within me. I just don't.
Okay, so this is my next question here. Okay, so
Okay.
see, you're Het-Heru.
And Het-Heru.
You've been here for a while, just like me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now I did my last show was about why is Generation Z so sad? Okay.
Okay.
They have been given everything, every gift that you and I never got when we were growing up, and we didn't have computers, cell phones, electric cars. We made the best of what we have, and so I'm what I I'd love for you to address when people see. You just said I'm not going to give power over that, and so why can't other people do that? Why is everyone given over to this culture of censorship? And I don't know if you've noticed. I'm all about freedom of speech. We all know what the First Amendment is. Okay. Um, the First Amendment is now being redefined by this counterculture that wants to put its stamp on what the new world is. So as we venture into law, you could comment on how to literally take your power. How? Okay, so
You, you
we'll
walk
go.
your talk, okay? You walk your talk. You say, we say one thing to these young people, and then we act something else. And that's a mistake there. They're watching us. They are even as frustrated as we can get with them. I was with a friend who's in my age group, and there was this young girl we were in Verizon, and she was getting some information. And she was saying something to her. She had a bit of an attitude when we went in there. She's a young girl, maybe 25 or something like that. And she referred to my friend as Sweetie. And that bothers me because you're not old enough to call me Sweetie. So I said to her, that's exactly what I said to her. I said, she's old enough to be your grandmother and you're referring to her as Sweetie. And she switched just like that because she knew better. See? So to remind these young folks, no, that's not right. But most importantly, because it's easy to talk stuff, but to walk it is a whole other thing. And I'm seeing way too much. You're not the only one that has asked me this question recently. We have to have enough faith in that which created us, whether you call it God or light or truth or whatever, whomever, that we give hope. We have to, back to my Royal Imani, when my guide said I had given up hope, and that the answer for that was to live by faith, and I had learned to live by faith and not by sight. We can easily look at what we think is ahead. First of all, it's their world. Okay, these young people, this is what they're going to be dealing with. But if you'll recall, when we were their age, those that were before us had some ambivalent feelings about what was going to happen in the world. We have to have enough faith and live in that faith, see, so that we can give that to them. I was talking to a woman who's a few years younger than I, and she just has a really bad view on life. And I reminded her, I said, you're not the only one with a story. We all have stories. We all have those that we love who made their transitions. We all have relationships that didn't work or jobs that didn't work. I don't know anyone who doesn't have a story, especially those of us who've been on the planet a little longer. That's just life. This place is a school. And in the school is that there's certain lessons that we're going to learn, and it's important that we learn those lessons so that when it's time, when we've finished this and we graduate, we take our degrees with us. In other words, the only thing we take with us is consciousness. So the more we can get the truth, get the truth of things, not this stuff that's going on, this delusional world that's constantly changing, that we give so much power to. And it really, it's like, I remember when I was first learning this about, it was given the idea of it being like a hologram. This is not real. It seems real, but it's not real. And the more power we give to it through this, the more power it takes control in our lives. Again, I was talking to someone today, and we were talking. She was saying about a certain group of people, and that she felt that they practice what we incorrectly call voodoo. The word is voodoo. It's an African spiritual practice, but Hollywood shows us that they're, zombies and this and that and so on and so on. And that she was very fearful. She was raised in the South. Her grandmother raised her, and her grandmother had all these fears as well. And she doesn't like to be around these people. She doesn't trust them, et cetera, et cetera. And I remember Indra Devi one time telling us, this was in Baja where she had her school, and she got this feeling. She got up in the middle of the night. She went to her post box, and there were instructions for someone to attempt to do some kind of whatever to her. Black arts. I don't like saying black arts. The bad arts. How's that? And she knew who this person was.
Are
And
you
she
talking
took.
about? I'm sorry. I want to just be clear on this.
Okay.
Black magic, or
So I don't like say.
no, I'm just trying to.
Dark, yeah, black magic is what people. Yes,
Okay, so they had threatened her
they
with.
they had given instructions to someone else to come and pick up the instructions and do this negativity stuff to Indra Devi. But she got a hit that this was going on in the middle of the night. So she got up, went to her post box, and there were the instructions in there. And she knew to whom, these were going. So she took the instructions, went to the person's house, knocked on the door, rang their bell, whatever, and handed this to them, and just folded her arms and look at this person and said, "You have no power over me." She didn't have to say it. She just looked at them in that way. And I know what that's like because when I had the yoga studio, and this was the 70s, and you had all these folks involved in cults and this and that, and some of these folks practicing, well, Wicca is the good one, but the black magic, and I could feel them trying to throw things at me, but I would just look at them and laugh, and it was like, don't you see who's around me, who's protecting me? That's what I give my power to. I couldn't do this work or the work that I did because people with all sorts of issues were coming to me. And if I weren't protected by the light within, and anybody who does this type of work, any work where you're dealing with people, I suggest two things. One is that you always imagine light surrounding and protecting you, and the other thing, you can use the sacred love oil because that helps as well. So
I don't like to use the black magic either. I don't like,
yeah, or
like the
blacklisted or
color,
blackballed, and
right, right.
you know.
Again, as we've been around for a while, and this has always been black or white. We seem to have circled back to the same thing. I think and I want your comment on this again about as we keep going, but how do this is why we're talking about the oils again. First of all, I want to give shout out to JJ Sean and everybody who's come into the audience just now. We're at this Het-Heru here on our Wednesday night broadcast. I want to thank everybody for coming in. We really appreciate you here. Please stick around to the end. Again, I wanted to bring up the incredible essential oils. I don't bring it up enough, and I really want to, about your oils and the power of your oils. I mean, this like Superman here, okay? The prosperity, by the way, thank you so much. What a blessing.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're very
What a
welcome.
blessing. Yeah, what a blessing. So let's go into, I want the essential oils. How does it help you get your power as we continue on? Thank you.
Because they simply enough, they remind you who and whose you really are. We have memory. That was, like I said, my background was not aromatherapy, right? I'm a yoga teacher. I also do intuitive reading. When I started presenting the sacred oils, it was interesting, the comments, the responses that I would get from people, especially when I was doing these big expos or whatever. And inevitably, people would smell the scent, and then they would stop and their eyes would go upward. They would sometimes cry, sometimes laugh, whatever, but they were remembering. And they said, "Oh God, that reminds me of my grandfather when or my, And that's how I learned that these oils, because of the power of the olfactory nerve that's connected to memory, help people remember their sacred selves. How they do it, all I know is that I had been on a path for a number of years. There were things that I gave up in order to be a better channel for it. And my guides told me that this is what they wanted me to do. They didn't tell me, they only said they wanted me to concentrate on healing by focusing on the chakra centers. They didn't tell me how they wanted me to do it. And then a couple of years later, they started channeling through me. So, and I've shared this often because I respect this. Dr. Charles Brown, who was one of the co-ministers with Della Reese back in years when she had her church in LA. And he has a background in aromatherapy and he's a bit of a mystic. And when he smelled them for the first time, he just said, "Het-Heru, do you know what you did?" And I said, "I think I did, but what do you think I did, Dr. Charles?" And he said, "You brought these from ancient times." Well, I believe that because I know that that's where my guides come from.
Okay, so I've been I've been using first started using Het-Heru. Het-Heru. That's right.
Which one?
It started 15 years ago in 2007.
Meta-netter. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know you like that one.
Yes, and also I had gotten the sample pack. Now I'm going to give my little promo here. If you, for anyone here who's going to listening now or who's going to come in later, what these essential oils do, and these are very unique. The only way to understand them is to order one. And I want to suggest you to get the sample pack. Go to Het-Heru.com. And what it's going to do for you, and the same that it's done for me, it grounds you. The smell, I know you're going, you might be saying to yourself, how can smell ground me? Trust me. Smell grounds you. If you can understand this concept of, if you're in a place where you're feeling lost, you got to get grounded. Okay. And so basically these essential oils ground you from when time began, literally. Okay. Because it's from an ancient recipes, right, Heather?
Yeah, and they come from the very society, civilization that I talk about every week. These Ma'atian people who were very enlightened and one of the most peaceful civilizations in the history of mankind.
And this might be the first time you've ever even heard this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay. Literally. You know,
And I do it out of love, everybody. Okay, just as Michael does. We do this out of love. It's, you know, my I've always kept my products very affordable. Very affordable, because the same way when I taught yoga, I wasn't, even though I was in the Century City area, I always want whatever I was doing to be affordable. That is who I am, and that is what I've agreed to do, to be a channel for this work. When I would do, again, back doing expos, and you know, Californians are Californians, and they would say, well, are these organic? Are these oils organic? And I would tell them, I said, well, this is what my vendors tell me, they are organic, but I'm going to be honest with you. They come from Egypt. They come from India. I'm not there watching. I can only trust. But what I do know without a shadow of a doubt, they are sacred, because I know what I've had to do in order to be a vehicle for these sacred oils to come through.
I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, this is not, we're not here for the money. Okay, because
Sure.
literally, I pay for this show, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I pay for this show. All right. So I haven't made one nickel, but I give the gift because it is what I'm supposed to do. And for you all, this is where you find your mission. If you are lost, to find your mission, I mean, for Het-Heru to have been on this mission for so long, 50 years, since you were 19.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's more than 50 years.
Yes. Okay. This is not about the money. This is about our love for you and reaching out the wisdom from centuries, from thousands of years, from understanding there's a balance, the balance of finding who you are, of leaning more one way or the other. I mean, if you're going to lean anywhere more, lean towards love. Okay. And so the fight and the struggle for all of us is to get to the center place of love. And that's what this is about. And I'll never forget the first time I smelled your essential oil in Robin's store, the Living Temple, funny place,
Yeah.
Living Temple. Okay.
Huntington Beach.
Yes, at Huntington Beach. He's still open, by the way.
I know.
He's
Yeah.
still
He
open.
reached out to me a few years ago. Yeah.
He did.
Mhm.
Yeah. I haven't talked to him in a while. I need to give him a call. So, okay. So now let's go into the law here. All right. Let's go into the principles of the law, and you have the floor.
Well, I think people assume that we're kind of flying by our coattails, that we've cross your fingers, you're living either with luck or bad luck or whatever. I don't live by luck or bad luck. I live by law. And just as there are laws that govern the world in which we live, the law of gravity, perfect example. I don't care, well, what your astrological sign is or your financial position or whatever. Everybody has to respect the law of gravity. What goes up will come down. That makes our lives easier knowing that, because if we didn't have that understanding, then, Lord knows what would happen to us. There are all sorts of laws that we have to respect. There are man-made laws, of course, and so we respect those to, as much as we possibly can. But the laws that govern our universe are the ones that are divinely intended. There's a law of attraction. Um, I think I've shared with you. If you want someone to share a relationship with someone, whether it's a romantic one, a friendship, whatever, whomever it is that you perceive yourself as being, and you're acting from that, is who you're going to attract to you. I have wonderful friends. I've always said that one of my great blessings are my friends. And through the years, some have stayed with me and some, have gone in a different direction, and that's okay too. You heard about the idea that there are seasons for friends, etc. But one of the things that my friends know about me is that I have no desire to harm them in any way. I'm probably one of the most loyal friends they could, ever have. Consequently, I attract loyal friends. I understand that each day, I understand about the power of the thought. If I am staying in a gloomy way, in a negative, that's why I was saying earlier. Yes, I see this stuff going on. I'm not immune to it. Where in some ways I am, kind of, sort of, because I choose not to give it my power. I can be aware that it's there. Just Michael was sharing about Mr. Musk. I was looking at him, by the way, when he was showing the video, and I was attempting to tap into an intuitive energy about him. And I don't see, he might be a smart man, but I don't know. There's not a power. I'm trying to not be political with this, but one of the things I most loved about Barack Obama, still love about Barack Obama, he's a very heart-centered person. And I would always feel that from him, whether he was doing something politically or whatever that I might have disagreed with, but I always felt the heart energy. With Elon Musk, I didn't feel anything. So he's almost like a robot. I'm sorry, Mr. Musk. I'm sorry. But it felt like that to me. It is wherever you apply your thoughts, wherever thought goes, energy follows. So if you're focusing on all the negative things that could take place in your life, guess what? You attract those negative experiences. But if you can reverse those thoughts and start seeing there's a lot of good going on in this world. Yes, these younger folks, we're looking at some of the things that they're doing and we're disagreeing with them. And so did the generation that preceded us, especially in the 60s and, the hippies, et cetera, et cetera. It's their world, but we are their founders. So it's important for us to live our talk, to walk our talk, be truthful, be caring, be loving. Okay, be righteousness. All right, be example of those 7 principles. Allow the 10 code of the see, I went back to my yoga training, but that's good too. The yamas and niyamas, the 10 codes of morality, or the 42 laws of Ma'at that are guiding you, or even in biblical terms, the 10 commandments. It's something that we've always had guidelines, but these are rooted in universal laws. The laws, again, that govern our universe. I'm being real careful when I use the word govern. Many years ago, I was doing a video to present, possibly to do a television show. And we, had Andrew Debbie on as a guest, and I had some of my students performing the postures and a lot of different things like that, because we're giving it to someone, we're promoting it, and this is the possibility of what we could do with this. It was back in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, something like that. And so my husband and I, Bill Harriman, and I were watching the video before we submitted it. And so when he says, my Southern Belle. Now, I was born in Indiana. So I said, what are you talking about? So he said, okay, we're going to play it again. This time I want you to listen to it. So I went through the whole thing. And at the very end, I said, and these are the laws that govern our universe. So my Indiana background came through. So, but we're not, folks, we're not here, I said, living willy nilly. But if we know these laws, if we study these laws, and they're easy to, you know, a lot of what I'm saying to you, you know, the right from wrong. That's basically, you know, that what you send out is going to come back to you tenfold. The law of karma, to do bad things to people, it has to come back to you. That's just one of the laws that govern this universe in which we live.
Well, I mean, I'm about Elon Musk. Some say he's a robot, by the way.
Oh, they do. Okay, well,
Yeah, just like Mark Zuckerberg, just like Jeff Bezos. Okay.
I don't feel any heart energy. That's
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. We're gonna agree to disagree on Obama. Okay. I
Okay.
just I don't feel anything. Okay. The political thing, I've studied it and seen all the laws. And I'll just give you one thing. If you know what habeas corpus is, do you know what habeas corpus is?
I do.
You have the
But
right
tell
to
me again.
remain silent. Anything you say will be done against you. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You have the right to have an attorney. Attorney will represent you. Okay.
Gotcha.
This was the number one law that saved Black people.
Black people. Okay.
Well, yes, because people were getting back in the day, you know, the only way that you could, you know, that they invented habeas corpus to protect. Okay, to protect.
Okay.
Now, it's not, but it's just that. But he repealed that. By the way, that's. I'll just leave that there.
I'll look that up because I don't remember that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I'm not a political person.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm an intuitive person.
Right.
So
Yeah. No. I get it. I'm a very political person. You know, I spend all day long looking at everything. And so you know, I would assume that he did do some good things. He's not president now, so you know, we're in the midst of a whole nother thing. So with the time we have left, I'd like for you to, if you can, how does spiritual law, what's the difference between the law of the principle here, and spiritual law, or are they the exact same?
Okay, I'm not quite sure what you're asking me. What's the difference between spiritual law and?
Yeah, so it's a spiritual law. Let's just say we're spirit and soul. All right. Okay. It is a law that you can't drive over 75 miles an hour. Okay, that's a law.
It's a man-made law.
Yes, and man-made law, and then the spiritual law as part of the grounding and bringing in the essential oil.
There. Oh, okay.
Is that deep enough?
And while you're at it,
how do you make gold?
You want to add anything else to that?
Can you teach me how to ride a bicycle? Is that
Well, okay. Well, man-made laws are man-made laws, and they're subject to change. The laws that govern our universe don't change. They are the law. Can you imagine the kind of world we live in if we didn't have? Okay, we know that the planet revolves around the sun. All right, I think, you know, if it weren't for that, then that's true, very true. And while you're at it, but if we weren't dealing with an intelligence, and thank God that intelligence is rooted in love, unconditional love, then this planet would be a mess. Now, okay, I mean, we've got things that, you know, people are concerned, understandably so, about environmental things. That's true. but I'm talking about the laws that govern the universe in which we live. I was thinking one of the things that I feel is that which we call the infinite has separated itself from itself in order to experience itself. Hmm? So let's say a rose is an expression of the one most high. A rose is a rose. But being the rose is not going to be able to smell the beauty of the rose. So there's this sense of separation in order to experience it, but it still is it. And it's the same way for me when I think about these laws that govern our universe. They are what they are, and it behooves us to respect them. Our lives are better by respecting them and understanding them. People who are scientists and are able to come forth with some of the things that they come forth with is because they acknowledge, they recognize there are certain laws that are. I had an experience years ago when I had the yoga studio, and one of my students was a scientist over at UCLA, and he brought me over to see the work that they were doing. And I remember he was all excited about some process that they had figured out with regards to digestion or whatever. And he says, "Oh wow," he says, "and we're still trying to figure out how this and this and that is going on." And I couldn't even tell you what my response was, but it was like really simple. But I remember the whole expression on his face, like his face was, yeah, you know. So, but just by understanding these laws. Now, with regards how they get tied into the sacred oils, I have no clue. All I know is that because I have the ability to align myself with one most okay with the source, and because I'm every work, especially when I start with my the yoga teaching, I knew to give it over. I always say a prayer, even before I come on and share with you folks. I always ask the ancestors, allow me to be a channel so that whatever comes forth is done, not rooted in ego, but rooted in heart energy, in the heart chakra, in the desire to help the most I possibly can. I'm never nervous when I'm out doing public speaking because I become a channel. I remember my husband asking me, Bill Harriman asking me one time, because I've always said, "Do you have any questions?" I've always asked that. He says, "What are you going to do one day when you don't have an answer?" I said, "I will tell folks I don't have that answer. You know, there's a reason why the answer is there, but in general, I usually have the answer because it's not me; it's spirit moving through me." So I don't know. Did that answer your question?
Okay, so I have one thing I want to add to you.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
would you consider respect a law? Just what do you think? Like, you know,
That's an interesting question. But I
it's an
respect,
interesting
I mean,
question.
I consider
Thinking about
respect
that,
a
yes.
law.
Okay, so now first and foremost, would it
Mhm.
be, does one respect oneself? Okay, so before one can, and this is my opinion and how I
Mhm.
see it, is you can't respect anybody unless you can respect yourself. Okay,
You cannot mix what you cannot measure.
right.
Okay.
You cannot, you can only love the greatestness of how you love yourself. Okay. So
Hmm.
your ability to love first comes from here and then is reflected on the
True.
outside. Okay.
True.
And so for all of us here, now again, we're winding up here. I get back to the essential oils because I'm
Mhm.
going to give, I have so much experience because I'm one of your longest customers. I'm sure you have
Yes.
longer, but I've been around for a long time.
Yes, you have.
And so again, when it comes to essential oils, ladies and gentlemen, I am not here to make any money off these essential oils. I am here to help you, guide you to this lady's essential oils. Now, when I talk about smell, see, smell grounds you.
Mhm.
Smell gives you clarity. The grounding gives you clarity. Okay, sometimes we this is why using the essential oils every day, ladies and gentlemen. So please go to I'm sorry, just a second here. First of all, you want to get a hold of her, info at Het-Heru.com. Okay, she'll be happy to answer any of your questions if you have that. All right, and then also at het-heru.com. Please go
That's
on.
my website.
That's
Yeah.
her website. Okay, so please go on to her. I forgot to put that in the where I could go right to your website, but we'll do that next time.
There's a lot of information on the website too. So
yes, there's a
I
lot.
wanted to say something with regards. I'll be brief with it. With regards to the grounding.
Okay.
Yes. Remember that all this work that I'm doing still brings back to what my guides said they want me to do, was to concentrate on healing, which means to make whole by focusing on the chakra system. So each chakra represents a part of you in expression. So the first chakra, the sacred oil for that is Kemet, which is the original name of Egypt. So each scent is for a different chakra, but they're all intended to help balance the chakra system, which consequently will bring peace and harmony and I was trying to think of the word you were using, grounding to your life.
So as we close up here, because we're getting to the top of the hour, I just wanted to give you a couple of minutes here for your final thoughts. Again, thank you so much for being here again. It's so wonderful to have you. And I get a lot of likes on the shows here. So we're doing our best to bring love out there. So final thoughts.
I was just thinking, I don't know if folks in their comments to you, if they have questions, I'm used to doing that. Like I said, if I don't have the answer, I'll tell you I don't have the answer. And if I don't have it, there's a reason that I'm not supposed to give it to you. But remember, folks, just, hang tough. I say this every week. I know it's difficult. Take your thoughts away from that, and put some sacred oil on and get quiet and listen to some nice music or go out and dancing or whatever. Just remove yourself for a while. If you have interest in the political world, that's fine too. But, know the love within. Peace and blessings to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Het-Heru. We'll see you again next week, okay? Thank you so much.
All right.
Well, here we are again. I just love having Het-Heru on here. All of us, no two people agree on everything. Okay, it's just the way it is. There's no two people alike. Show me two Christians alike. Exactly alike. Show me two Muslims exactly alike. Show me two Republicans that are exactly alike. Show me two Democrats that are exactly alike. Okay, show me two billionaires that are exactly alike. Okay, that's the uniqueness of who we are, guys. That is the uniqueness of what each one of us brings to the table. And, I know some people want to control the table. And when you're solidly in yourself, when you're grounded, when you understand who you are, you see, if there's anything I think that Het-Heru is giving us is the fact of knowing who you are. And because that is changing constantly changes. We're being told to be this way, to be that way, to prepare for the robots, the Neuralinks, the new Twitter. You see, and I think the main thing I'm taking out of this show with Het-Heru is for you to take that time within the framework of your being and be quiet. Quiet the noise. And this is one of my real emphasis here, and why I really wanted Het-Heru's wisdom is, we already gone through the chakras. We went through the 7 chakras, and that really, was a wonderful series that we did, and we're going to keep on doing this as we go forward. Sooner or later, we're going to do a 28-day wisdom, expression, inspiration in the fully grounding of yourself. As our show gets in, we're still developing our audience, but that is something that we'll be doing eventually. And as long as we have Het-Heru is available, we will always bring her on. And so take that time to think. If there's anything we're trying to say to you, is to think. Never stop thinking. And, it's easy to put your head in the sand and not want to deal with it, which always leads to which way do we go? Which way do we go? Are we moving and not moving? So sometimes you got to dance in place. Sometimes you got to move straight. Well, however it is, always know to have your thoughts together so that you're not in this burden of where you feel helpless. So again, thank you so much, Het-Heru, for coming on here today. I will be back tomorrow and Friday, and all next week we'll be having all full shows here, okay? We just had some health issues here, and we are now over it, and I'm back and on fire. So until then, one more thing, please, before you do, please, if you haven't, subscribe to my channel and press the bell to get notified. If you don't do that, you will not be notified when my show comes on, because they just are not. This is a spiritual channel, and it is not the norm. And so please press that button there. So again, I will see you all tomorrow. We're going to be talking about middle class. What happened to the middle class? I have some statistics that are going to blow your mind, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much.